Yes guys, what is good? Another video in the series going from $80,000 in payouts to 150k in 2026. So this week we had a very green week. However, I did not take any payouts. I'm one winning day away from a 6k payout, so hopefully that should be next week. But this week we didn't manage to take any. So let's jump into the video. There's no payouts to show, but we still had a very, very good week. So let's recap the trades. We took a win on Tuesday, a win on Thursday, and then on Friday I did take a win. It was a little bit of a different trade that we will go over, and I only took that on one Lucid account. So we will go over all the trades now and see what we got up to. So the first trade was a win on Tuesday. I actually took a win and I also took a break-even trade. So let's have a look at the chart now. So the first break-even trade that I took was this 1 minute short here. Sadly, we did close quite far down. I would have liked if we got a close sort of here. That would have been very nice, but we did get the close all the way down here, which made it a little bit harder to get to that one-to-one or target liquidity. So I did have my break-even at this swing low in this scenario because that was where my break-even point was no matter where we closed. If we closed here, my break-even would have been there. Just because the close was lower doesn't mean I then move my break-even and look for a lower one. The trade is just invalid. So if we had wicked past this low or closed past this low, I wouldn't have taken the trade. But the low was still intact, so it is still a good break-even point. And yes, I know it is very tight to take a trade like this, and the break-even is very near, but either you don't take the trade or you do and you go break-even there. That's just how I look at it. So this did save me today because, not today, sorry, on Tuesday, because we did come down, swept the low, got break-even, and it would have been a loss. So break-even did save me in this scenario. So the reason I took this trade is we had a 30-minute high resting inside of a fair value gap just here. You can see the fair value gap. We swept it, and at the time we were respecting the fair value gap. Due to swing off open, everything was super clean. There was a 15-second and maybe a 30-second IFVG at the top, but I don't trade those timeframes. I did see it though and think it was pretty clean. So if you did take that, that was a very good trade to take. Later on in the session, I did take a win. So after this, we came back up, and what did we do? We re-swept the high that we just put in the 30-minute fair value gap, but this is also a high inside of a 5-minute fair value gap. So we had a really good reaction off of this, and we had a 1-minute IFVG. Now, I did actually make a little bit of a mistake, being completely honest, on this day, because I thought we inversed here, but if we zoom in, we actually closed directly on the fair value gap. So technically, I actually shouldn't have been in that trade. Either way, I would have hit TP, but that is not the way to look at it. So the trade I actually took was here, and I went for a one-to-one like so. I hit TP in literally 1 minute. Realistically, I probably should have been in here because it didn't actually inverse, and then I should have gone for a one-to-one like so, which also would have hit TP. But as I say, that's not the way to look at it. That could have burnt me on this day. So, you know, I'm not perfect. We do make mistakes sometimes. And I realized as soon as I was in the trade, so I did move to break even quite quickly. I was going to manually close it, but I thought I was already in profit, moved to break even, and it did just flush to my take profit. So maybe a bit of luck, but I would have taken the trade either way and hit take profit. So I had a few questions asking why I took this trade when, if we look on the higher time frames, we actually had an hourly high in a fair value gap above. And I always preach that if we come really near to a good draw on liquidity, do you want to take that trade when that is then resting at your stop loss? You want high resistant at your stop loss and low resistant at your TP. So the reason I took this is I still felt that the stop loss was very high resistant. We had a 15-minute high in a fair value gap that we swept. We also had that 5-minute high. Yes, we did come fairly near to the hourly high, but the way I look at it is if we get a perfect sweep of a high, instant reaction, we're probably not going to revisit this. And the way that I can sort of determine whether it is a good trade to take or whether we've come too near to the next draw on liquidity is draw out a box, sort of mark out the 50% between the two draws on liquidity. So did we come above 50% between those two draws? No, we had an instant reaction, instant IFVG. So for me, this is still a protected high and a very high resistant area, and below we have much more low resistant draws, so I was still comfortable taking that trade. So that was our win on Tuesday, and then we had no trades on Wednesday. On Thursday we did then take a banger, so I will go over that now. On Thursday the trade I took was actually a little bit different from what I usually do because it was pre-market. So this entry was at 8:39 New York time, which is at 1:39 in the UK if you're from there like me. Why I took this trade was we swept a daily low inside of a fair value gap. Now, I always take trades off of lows and highs in fair value gaps. The higher the time frame, the higher the power. It is not often that you see a daily low inside of a fair value gap swept. So we had a perfect sweep of this liquidity. As you can see there, instant reaction after the sweep. Some people were saying that it wasn't a real sweep because like we didn't go too far past it, but this is still a sweep. Some of the best sweeps are when we get that really nice rejecting wick, we take the liquidity, and then we see the move to the upside. So this for me was more than enough to take a trade off of. Swept the daily low in a fair value gap. Then we got a 1 minute IFEG. There was also a 5 minute, but I went break even when we tapped into this 5 minute. So we made the 5 minute on that candle close. So I just moved my stop loss to break even as soon as we hit that, and I didn't get break even, which was, I did think I would get break even, to be honest, and I was looking for the re-entry on the 5 minute, but I never did. So I took this trade and hit full TP. So I had my stop loss at the wicks there of the protected low, and I targeted just over a 1.4R at this high just here. I thought this was extremely A+. This is one of the best trades I've seen this year. And the thing is, like, I would have taken this if it was an AM session. I happened to be on the chart and saw this trade setting up. I don't have anything against trading other sessions. Like, my model works in London, it works in Asia. It works in all times in the day. It also works on the higher time frames. Like, you'll see it play out on the 15 minute, 30 minute. If you have a look back on the chart, it plays out all the time. So it's not something I'm against. I just prefer to have one session that I trade so that my psychology is intact and I know I'm trading from this time to that time and I'm not sat on the charts all day rotting, like looking for an entry constantly. So it's not something I'm against. I just don't recommend trading more than one session. But as I say, I'm not against it. This was extremely A+, and I thought I am happy to take a loss on this and not trade AM session if it loses. So yeah, so this 1 minute we started to fly up. I didn't then get break even. We came back into this fair value gap and used that to distribute higher, which is really clean. Sometimes when we have a good break even point and displace to the break even and we make a fair value gap on the way up, a lot of the time this will hit your take profit because we can re-tap into the fair value gap and then deliver higher without hitting your break even. So this was really clean. We then just started to fly towards take profit and bang, hit for a 1.4R. I took this on my 5 Lucid accounts and I hit an absolute banger. Really, really clean. So yeah, this was my trade on Thursday. Now on Friday, it was a little bit of a different trade because we swept that daily low in a fair value gap and we came a little bit further past it because we came back down and re-swept it. As well as doing that, we swept that hourly low. Instantly after that, so this was when the market was closing, but we had an hourly IFEG. So I didn't take this because market close was just about to happen. On prop firms, you can't hold trades overnight. So I waited until the next day. So if I change this to the hourly, we came down and we were somewhere down here when the market then reopened. So I actually got an entry really low down and I went for, I think it was just under a 2-to-1 with this high. Now, as I say, I'm not against trading other sessions. I'm not against sort of trading on the higher time frames. Or the model works in all sessions on all time frames. So if you see an A+ setup and you're happy to accept the risk and take it, why not take the trade? So I did only take this on one Lucid account when the market reopened. This is where I got my entry on the hourly where we reopened. And I thought I'm going to target this 1 hour high inside of a fair value gap. I don't think we should come much further down. We've rebalanced into the gap that we inversed. We should then push out of that really and come higher. We have a protected low below, which is where I had my stop loss, and it was a 2-to-1 with this high. And as you can see, we didn't come back below that, and we flew up to my take profit. So it's super clean trade. I don't usually trade on the higher time frames. This was actually the entry, and this is what I should have entered off the hourly IFEG there. Instant V shape, instant reaction, but obviously I couldn't enter there because you can't hold overnight. So this is where I got my entry. Luckily it was a lower entry. I would have been happy to take it even if we were somewhere like this, as long as the risk to reward with this high was at least a 1-to-1. I still would have taken it. But as I said, I did get a better entry. So those are my 3 trades this week, all really, really A+. I'm actually having an insanely good month in August. Like, I haven't taken a single loss, but I haven't taken many trades, to be fair. It's not like I've got an 100% win rate taking trades every single day. I did take a break even. I've had 2 wins there, 2 wins here on my 5 accounts. I am looking to scale up my funding again. So with Top Step, I did have some accounts. I rinsed down the buffers, took a lot of payouts, and then I only had like $500 left in each account because I literally was just rinsing down the buffers, taking some payouts. I was accepting that I may then blow the accounts, buy some more, and then scale them back up and build some more buffers. I blew those accounts when I had $500 left after taking way, way more than that out of the accounts. As soon as I then went to buy 5 more, Top Step have put me on the responsible trader program. So I can now have 1 account and it has to be a consistency account. So Top Step have nerfed me, which is a little bit annoying. So Lucid is the main firm I'm trading with at the moment. I feel like I'm going to get moved to live very soon with them. I'm going to take a 6K payout next week and then I still have some good buffers in the account. So I feel like it is just a matter of time. So yeah, we'll see, and hopefully we can scale up and up. I may get some accounts with Apex. You can literally get 20 accounts. So there's a few things I'm looking at the moment, and I just need to scale up, and yeah, we'll be making some insane money. But a $0 week this week, which is a little bit annoying, but I need one winning day for a 6K payout, and then maybe like 2 or 3 on 2 other accounts for another 4K payout. So yeah, we'll see. But thank you boys for watching, and hopefully we can continue this month and stay green for the whole of August, which would be insane. August is statistically known to be probably the slowest month of the year, every single year. If any of you watch ICT and stuff like that, you'll know this. So if you are having a tough month, do not get demotivated. August has been very slow for me. I know I haven't lost a trade, but it has been very slow. So if you are losing, if you are maybe red on the month, come into next month completely fresh. These sort of autumn, winter months are usually the best months in my trading. So that's why I kind of want to scale up, ready for these, and get some serious money going. So as I said, thank you for watching. Hit that subscribe, leave a comment, and I will see you boys in the next one.